Good morning and welcome to episode 3 of the Omega Tech Gaming Breakfast Podcast. I am Zodiac, and today we're going to be talking about hype and
hype.
Our
hype.
Yeah, get hype.
Hype.
And our feeling in like how it affects our pretty much experience with games or really any media. Whether it's like from the Ep3 booths and trailers. Like to me, whenever I first saw the Rainbow Six Siege trailer, I was hyped. Like I was like, okay, it's most likely CG, but I'm ready to like kick down doors, explode walls. I'm good to go. And they recently released the beta.
Alpha.
The alpha, which you can't judge too much because it is an alpha. The game looks very pretty. It looks like it's sleeker, like CS:GO. But from the footage I've seen, you can't do as much as they were promising, and my hype is like slowly dying down to the point where I'm not even interested.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's that bad. Where they took a lot of things that I thought would be tactical out, like the drones. I don't like the drones. I don't like the fact that you have hit markers and stuff like that. It takes what I wanted out of it. So it's like...
Take the Call of Duty out of my shooter.
Yeah.
Exactly. You keep your drones.
Yeah, you can keep
your Predator
keep
back
your drones.
down.
Let me kick down a door and blast someone, save the hostage, and be a hero with my team.
Fuck that Osprey gunner.
God. So, if what are your experiences with hype? Like, what do you think about hype? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it hurting the industry? Is it overused?
You talking to me?
Yeah, anyone.
Everyone. Yeah,
we're gonna round table this shit.
Yeah.
I thought this was about AAA versus indie. Yeah. I know it was about hype.
I figured it was like later. Later topic.
I don't know. I mean, hype is hype. You can't really talk about hype.
Yeah, hype is both good and bad.
Yeah, like hype's a feeling.
Okay, this is an Ice Age 70 right here. Oh boy. Here's my whole thing with hype. I feel that if you overhype something, you are setting the game that you're hyping up for failure. Because look at Watch Dogs. With the hype that game had, you'd swear that you would grow a third ball if you freaking played that game.
Damn.
Okay, this is Gsquared, all right. I think the perfect example for this whole hype train thing is Destiny. That is the God. Because I remember like all the expectations you might have had for like exploring different planets and kind of having that Skyrim feel, and then the game came out and you played it and you were just like, this is the final product, like that's it. There isn't a PC version, so you know.
I'm sorry. I think the very worst part about Destiny was the story.
Yeah,
the story was utter garbage.
There's a lot of things that are good.
Exactly. Like the story was, there's so many bad things that happened. I could tell you, but I won't.
Go kill this space thing.
Yeah, go murder that bishop that throws up out of his mouth.
I don't think it's just more so how hype destroyed our expectations for it. More so, their hype was so elaborate that they made it to where GameStop was like building the hype, YouTube was building the hype, they had fans building hype, and we had very high expectations.
And it was coming from Bungie. Like that's hype on its own.
Yeah.
Like Bungie's back making their own like IPs.
Well, okay, this is Jagd here. This is my whole deal on hype and things like that. That type of hype, I don't think it's the publisher's fault that people just go with the concept and run away with it. It's not as bad as, say, Peter Molyneux, where he promises so many things and
the
doesn't
Fable guy?
deliver. Yeah, Fable, Civilization?
Yeah.
That's Molyneux, right?
I think
so. The original. Anyway, but he promises so many things and doesn't deliver. With Destiny, they didn't promise that you'd get all this. They just showed footage, and you made your own conclusions out of that.
But you know what? That is their fault, though. This is Gsquared. That is their fault, okay? Because I think that GTA didn't do the same thing. GTA 5, Mortal Kombat didn't have to do the same thing. There were a couple of things that just did not build up hype the way they needed to, but they ended up paying out dividends in the end. Like when I saw you, Jag, playing Mortal Kombat yesterday, I was like, the crypt and the tower and like Test Your Might and all these other things that came back from the classic, they did not say anything in building hype for it, and it made the experience of just even watching it like more rewarding than anybody else could have ever made. The only thing they did was just kind of talk about fatalities to build hype. So it's like that's like one of the keystone things of Mortal Kombat is the fatalities. They just talked about that more and let the public talk about fatalities because
wasn't necessarily the fatalities. I say back again, but It's more of they were just going over the systems, the interactables, how every character, all three of the variations was just not completely different character, but a whole different way to play the character.
Right,
where it would add a whole nother, it's a whole nother bit of depth.
Right.
Because, when it comes, say, when you're coming up with a tier list, for fighter's sake, you can't just say that this one character is now going to have a complete advantage over somebody. Now, because that character has 3 different variations, one variation might not be able to do the job, but the other 2 might be more than enough to do the job to where they can make up for all the things that they lack.
Right. I think what Mortal Kombat did, just to nail that point in, is that they controlled their content. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So-
Destiny didn't really clarify their content. They just let people run wild with it. And their imaginations, basically just not giving credit to the gaming community and culture. We want to know the nitpick details, because right now, the next one that's going to be subject to hype, that's going to mess it all up for them, is the new Star Wars game. That's going to really mess up everything.
Yeah.
This is Insidious, and I just want to put my 2 cents in real quick. With the hype thing going on, it's just like you said, G-Squared. To the point where that if you reveal too much, you don't have anything left of the game to get hype about. Like with Mortal Kombat, thank you for the great example. They controlled their concept. They gave some gameplay and some fatalities. You didn't even know anything else besides those 2. And the thing with Mortal Kombat is they get hype just from that.
Yes.
So it was not too big of a deal. Everyone else didn't make too big of a deal. But when they bought it, they made it that much more of a deal about it.
Yeah.
They got higher ratings because of that. I don't think hype wore that out.
Yes, because
I think he has.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, this is Archiegn, by the way. New guy. I think when it comes
New guy.
New guy. I'm just new guy.
New virgin.
I think when it
Welcome to server number 3.
All right.
I'm out.
All right. But pretty much what it comes down to is that there are 2 forms of hype that's pretty much generated when a game comes out. There's one that's built by the players, which obviously was created when Destiny came out. When people saw it, people got crazy for it. And there's the other hype where I forgot your name. What was your name?
Jagd.
You were talking about that one guy. But there's hype that's created by the developer and publisher. And usually that kind of usually goes into the worst direction because they promise you so many things and they give you a product that just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Well, again, that goes back to just either if they're going to release content for the world to see, it needs to be controlled content, and they have to have some type of tactical, psychological plan saying, people are going to be excited about this, so let's give them this to kind of be excited about without revealing the best parts of the game.
It's funny because Ed Boon literally did that with Mortal Kombat.
Right.
Because not only did they have the whole podcast where they're going over different things with the game, each month they go over a new thing. And if you pay attention to during the time before the game came out, Ed Boon was releasing little itty bitty tidbits that literally gave away that if you were paying attention, you would know. Because literally 2 months before Jax was revealed, he showed up on a tower, and somebody had to stop and actually legit scan into that picture to see it. And a lot of people didn't know that Rain was going to be in it until they saw him in the trailer. Rain when he drop kicked Kotal Khan off the building.
To go along with that, this is Omegaxis, by the way. The Predator thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
When that was just a rumor,
God.
Out of everything, I was a little excited for Mortal Kombat 10, but being out of the game series for so long, I was like, whatever. But the Predator reveal, my reaction to that was, how do I go out and buy a PS4 right now?
What about Jason
I
Voorhees,
need-
man?
Yeah.
That's what
Jason-
got
Like
me.
Jason was cool, but the way they revealed Predator was so good.
It's
That
like-
alone
it's
built
real,
all the
it's-
hype I needed.
It's
to be
real,
interested
it's
in
here,
it.
it's official, let's do this.
So we can honestly agree that the way Mortal Kombat 10 did it, it was the right way to do hype.
Yeah.
All right.
Here's what I've got.
Go ahead, Matt.
Cut off, people. All right, this Magix. To go on with his Predator reveal, the thing I think the hype's gonna be real for the new Street Fighter, because when Charlie got released,
Everyone got
oh no, y'all can go fuck yourselves.
What, you mean
when
Mr.
Charlie got revealed?
You mean Rugal?
Frankencyborg?
Don't matter to me. I had the same goosebumps he had
No,
when
dude.
Predator came out.
I jizzed myself when fucking Charlie came, when they showed Charlie.
Yeah,
my God.
the hype is real like that, but that's good.
Heard it
That's
here first.
controlled
Charlie
hype.
lists
Yeah,
his
That is
homoerotic
controlled
feelings.
hype.
So-
It's like okay, Destiny let it go out of control. That's what we're talking about. Like how hype can be good, hype can be bad.
I'm saying, okay, this is my deal with hype right now. This generation is a little bit different than how hype used to be built, especially with video games. With movies, movie trailers used to be the big thing, get you hyped up for movie trailers. All they can do is show you content from the movie. For hype for video games, though, it has to be a little bit different. It has to show core details of gameplay and everything like that, instead of just showing you a beautiful trailer.
It needs to show off mechanics.
Yeah, because that's exactly what game trailers used to be. It's just, hey, look how beautiful this game is. Yeah, it'll show you, some content and stuff. But now developers with social media now, they can actually they can tell you what's going on with the game and things like that. And that's probably what we should do to be building hype for games instead of just trailers now.
Okay.
Well,
Which
I
is what
still like my trailers.
It's what Destiny did, though. Destiny was mostly trailers.
One other big thing that's also
true.
with
That is
this
true.
current generation is the gamers now, like even I gotta say this, we are spoiled
We are.
because when we get a trailer, that's something that we could never have hoped, that we could only have hoped for back in the day of Super Nintendo and all that, because trailers are so rare. It's so rare to see like a commercial for a Super Nintendo game or something advertising the system, unless you lived in Japan. And at the 64, and then with the 64 and PlayStation, that's when more trailers started to come along because the age of the internet started to come.
And then
become
there was
thing.
also demos with that and
Yeah,
different
and then
ways
the
to
demos.
make hype.
I remember the only way that you could determine whether a game was good was you looked at the box art for the Super NES games. That's how I whenever I go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, I look at the box art. If it looked cool, I pick it up, and if I liked it, that's how I fell in love with
Sound
the
yo
Mega
ho.
series.
That or you go to Kmart or Walmart and go play the demo stations at
Oh,
the
yeah,
actual
that.
store.
I
Yeah.
remember those.
What has happened though is that games have kind of let us down. There are a lot of people producing games out there, even AAA games that are just really, really letting us down. Like
Call of Duty.
really, really letting us down. And now, as a consumer, we go out and we want to purchase games, but we want to be so much more educated than what we've ever been before. And hype, in some ways, doesn't really help us. Like, hype does help us because, all right, I'm going to say it. Someone's gonna
I got
just
the red
pin me
button.
down for it.
I'm ready to jump up.
But I'm hyped for Final Fantasy 15.
Me too.
Okay?
I am.
Hey,
All
We're
right.
all hype.
For it,
All right,
man.
We
but
all-
I really think they control.
Omegaxis just went
Yeah, but I really think that they
Send him hate
control
mail.
their content well.
Threaten
Like,
him.
remember
Get
when the demo, just a demo
Like
of
the
that
Blue
game
Dust
was
Go.
coming out, there was so much hype for it. But Square Enix was not allowing you to know exactly the ins and outs of this demo. They wanted you to experience the whole Dusk Eye landscape. And
Yeah.
I think that's the way hype should be done, because now, once people saw it, got to see the summon, just one summon, limitations within a small area, they now have more people sold on buying the game because they released controlled content to basically amplify hype for it. So
And then ripped it
now
away.
I just have to say something that I know the feeling, because when I even heard that they were gonna make a Final Fantasy 15, I was like, okay, let me see what's that about, because I'm interested. And then I didn't get anything. Like, I got a little bit here and there. I got word of mouth, and I was excited from that. Then I saw the demo, and I really want the game now.
yeah, see, I think hype can be good.
Then I got hit by a car and got out of the beta.
I find it sad though because I give props to Square Enix for actually putting out a demo of a game in that early of a stage.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Because
still very
It was still the
there are many games out there, AAA and indie, that will refuse to put out a demo because they know for a fact that will hurt sales.
But in the case of 15, it's been in development for so long, they had to give something now.
That's
Because
true.
people were starting to lose interest.
But again,
Back when it was
5-3.
Final Fantasy Versus 13, that first trailer, I was like, there's this cool dude sitting in the throne, throwing swords, teleporting. What is this game and how can I get into it? And here we are, 10, 12 years later?
Yeah.
at the same
A
time,
lot of
though,
years
they
later.
at least gave us a demo. Most other companies wouldn't give us nothing. We'd
But
still
they
be in
had
the dark.
to.
But
they
they
had to at this point. We waited too long.
Right.
It's
I
still
honestly feel like we deserved a demo at this point.
Yeah, we did, and I'm not going to deny that. but it's still better than not getting nothing like most other companies have been doing us.
It's controlled hype. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, like some bad games. The Order.
Perfect example, The Order.
And I would like to say that, like Square's way of controlling hype is pretty much the ideal model, at least to me, because whenever you want to know something, that information is there, but it's not there.
No, the best form of hype that I've ever seen in my entire life was Super Smash Bros. Brawl, with Sakurai putting out the item of the day.
Oh,
The Smash Dojo,
Smash
so
Dojo,
good.
item of the day, every single, or not just item, but just a little tidbit every single day.
Yeah.
It was freaking sweet. I
when
know.
a
I was
character got
checking that.
released?
Yeah, I was checking that website every day as soon as the refresh was coming.
So,
That
but
was
again,
also
that's
a bit of a
controlled content
disappointment.
as well. And I
Well, for me personally.
because sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I will say this: I definitely like the hype for Smash for Wii U. I really like they really did a good job with that,
They
especially
did.
with the tournament that they did. My friends didn't like it because they went to a lot of tournaments up in Maryland, but like that tournament was mainly their way of showing off the game, both for fun and for like competitive. And they did a good job.
Well, they're in Grammy USA. What do you expect?
Well, that's true.
And because I think like slowly releasing content is the best way to have a positive hype.
Yeah.
Just like because as soon as you were checking Kotaku everywhere you could think of for Final Fantasy.
I
G-Squared.
do it every day.
And whenever there's nothing,
Yeah, he
that
does.
only makes you a little bit more exciting when there is something. And they don't release much whenever they do talk about it, so it's always interesting. It's always fresh.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
And whenever it comes out, you're gonna buy it off that anticipation, and you've already played the demo.
But let me tell you that Square Enix had to learn powerful lessons from their mistakes to really even come back and be smart. It's not that they're knowing how to do hype, I think, because they just have fans that are really hype about their games. They just have really something to prove to fans now. But they're being smart about it, controlling exactly what they want fans to know.
They got a lot to prove
They
with
have a
some
lot
of the
to
games
prove.
they've been putting out.
Yeah.
Like Mind Jack.
And I would like to bring out kind of like the negative type of hype, which I've recently had to deal with, which would be with Killing Floor 2. Now, this sounds like a pretty ideal scenario, but for me, it's actually killing my want for the game.
Yeah, you already lost me because you said Killing Floor.
Killing Floor is
Killing
great.
Floor is a good game.
Killing Floor is a good
I haven't
game.
played it, so I have no opinion.
I love the devs. I love Tripwire Interactive. They've managed to keep a community together on one game for 10 years. So they can and do make a great product. But they've released so much information with the pre early access beta. I've got my fill of the game without even really playing it yet, because of the nature of that game. It's you shoot a bunch of monsters, a boss wave, there you go. And so I'm kind of at my fill with it. And it's because the devs have been sharing so much and people have been recording Let's Plays. They haven't put any embargoes in place to not stop me from just chasing that dragon until I'm like, all right, next thing.
Right. So basically, I guess hype isn't going to go away. It's just that there's some hype we just don't appreciate. You know what I mean? I mean, okay, all right.
It was good the first time.
Let's take Street Fighter V for an instance. Okay, I think it was a bad idea to say that it was going to be a console exclusive before Charlie. Like, I think it should have been like building hype for it, and then Charlie, and then talk about like kind of weasel your way into it's a console
So
exclusive.
Smartly.
Hey, like pet your pet and then just punch it in the gut.
No,
after
no,
you,
no,
like-
no.
like-
No.
Again, there's
This
no
is a
telling
nice
what's
puppy.
going on in the business end for that
No,
one as
no,
well,
no,
so you
because-
can't fully blame them for that one.
It being, well, I mean, you know what? Maybe they were right.
Yeah, they could've
maybe just
softened
go
the
ahead
blow, like-
and just
At
come
least
up
it's
front.
I feel it's better to be blunt than to like be pet on the head and as he
Okay,
said,
now-
get
just
fucking
now the
blasted
bad
in
news
the
is
gut.
out of the
Wait,
Yeah.
if that's the
What
worst of the
company
bad
usually
news,
does
now we have
this
good
game?
things to look forward to.
Exactly.
Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
What company usually
Capcom.
does it? Capcom, right?
Capcom.
Okay, Capcom, I haven't heard, like, to them, console is their livelihood. I don't think they're gonna get into the PC thing until way later. Or at
They've
least
already
until
put
they feel like they're comfortable.
they're-
They've already stepped foot in the PC market.
Yeah, Street Fighter 4 is on Steam.
That's the preferred way to play it in most tournaments.
Yeah, Evo they play on with PC.
Still,
Okay,
it's
alright.
still Street Fighter 4 though.
But the reason why I said that was more so from a psychological standpoint. You want people, to buy more of the console with people not knowing. I know it sounds like the most corrupt thing to do, but like if you were to tell people about the actual franchise itself first and let people get excited about the Street Fighter name first and then later on tell them like, hey, it's a console exclusive, I think that there personally probably would have been more console sales because that people actually looked forward to that game because of the hype they built up.
And I
Also,
honestly,
you got to remember both sides because there's still those Xbone and PS4 like dick suckers that like the second they hear something. I'm sorry, I'm throwing that out there. Like the second they hear something, they hear console exclusive. They already got their blunderbusses ready to just fire at each other.
But if there's a like with Predator, if for whatever reason Mortal Kombat X was only on the PS4, but they would said like Predator first, like all the teasers, that would have softened that blow. Like there would still be equally as many people being mad, but for the people that are willing to,
You say that, but that's what happened with Destiny, and people were pissed.
Yeah, I'm
I
kind
was
of
really
like,
mad.
I'm kind of like going back in my mind and saying, why did I say that to begin with? But then I was trying to defend it. But honestly, as a consumer, I would want to know up front so I know whether or not to buy it or not.
You didn't know up front with the order and you still bought it.
But speaking from the only
That's different.
Oh, come on, that is unprofessional. You gotta turn your phone off, dog.
I'm sorry.
He leveled up, dog.
Yeah, all right.
He leveled up.
Now, the order was a different. The reason why we bought the order was because it was controversial. Like because
we bought Rise because it was controversial. Also,
we bought it because more people were actually talking bad about it, like about things that were going to happen with it. And then I was like, okay, we'll buy it here and check it out. And it was so true. Like
we should have rented it from Redbox.
Yeah, like definitely should have GameFly'd that one because it is not worth. Now it's being sold for like $20.
That's still more than it's worth.
Exactly. Like
that's what GameStop offered.
Yeah,
it's like an action-y visual novel.
I can go buy Gears of War for $4.
I will say Thermite Rifle is OP.
The only reason why I found out the order was bad was through the Honest trailers. That's the only way.
Yeah. But honestly, we can say that hype can go both ways, good or bad. Is it good for the industry? Yes. Is it bad for the industry? Yes. It all depends on whoever's producing the games, the producers, devs, whatever.
Or their PR team.
Yeah, exactly. They need to.
You gotta give it to a PR team though, because like, take a look at like with Tomb Raider. Like sometimes you gotta do some shitty shit to get people to look at your game. Because look at how they like did the trailer where they made it look like Lara Croft was about to get raped.
Right, and that controversy is always going to be good hype for a marketing purpose because, like, look at Hatred. Like, does anyone know anything about like that game Hatred coming out?
Oh yeah.
Because of the controversy that game had behind it, we would buy it just to see what all the
controversy behind it was so.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto, they specifically said that they caused controversy.
Yes. They have
for their original.
Rockstar has actually like pretty much sued themselves over controversy.
Right.
Like
it was
you think that's stupid, but they have.
Really smart.
They've
really
hired
smart.
lawyers to sue themselves about people shooting people.
Right.
It was their tactic to get.
I mean,
that's
news. Honestly, I've never heard of that. But
I've never heard of that one.
Super intelligent if
That's
they do that.
super smart.
Because someone can't raise a lawsuit about something that's already being put into a lawsuit, but it's yourself. So like.
You can
but
tell
at
them
the
to
same
stop
time,
it at any
At the
point.
same time,
And settle.
just to build that controversy with regular media, they'll report it as Rockstar being sued for, and then they'll get hyped because people want to read.
And I'll bring up like I'm sorry, Chris. But
the creators for Hatred, literally, I watched a little bit, and they said, literally, when do you? Sometimes you just feel like you have to pick up a gun and just shoot everything you see. That's literally from the creator's mouth. So
sorry about that.
Gaming.
Yeah. Actually, MadPat brought up like he made a good video about that. Actually,
MadPat, yes, I love MadPat.
And there have been like some really, really, really shady things done with like marketing. They're like kind of breed hype. Like with EA, like 2 instances, Dante's Inferno, they actually hired actors to pretend to be like super religious, like Christians, and picket the game just for controversy. And the Dead Space 3, your mother doesn't want you playing this game campaign, which pretty much said, hey, Oh, that was 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which pretty much said, hey, let's sell this M-rated game to minors, even though that's against the rules in place, even though they had adult people there. And it was just a weird way to, like, start.
I mean, regardless, hype is good for the industry because, like,
And
but the thing is
controversy.
that word hype is something that is kind of an understatement for people who are just committed to the culture and gaming as a whole. Like, I mean, through and through, I'm going to play Final Fantasy games. You know, like that's just how it is, and
One
they
big one.
they wouldn't need to build hype for me.
Think of one really big one. Think of how much hype Call of Duty had when they had the whole airport scene. I mean, the
Modern
airport.
Warfare 2.
Modern Warfare 2. That whole scene where you gun down the airport,
that
and
was-
that was on the news.
That was crazy.
You don't even have to do that, right? It's
Oh,
not
yeah, I
like
remember
on-
this one.
No, you do not have to. There was legit a disclaimer that says there is going to be a mission that is very, very offensive. You do not have to play it if you do not want to.
You can
And
skip it
right
right now.
before
Yeah.
Because it was the first
has
mission.
its- No,
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 it's
it's
not
not
the
the
first.
first
Well, no,
It's like the third.
It's
Yeah.
the second.
But, like,
I just knew it was early in the
As-
story.
As the community, though, we kind of want some of these games to to be good, like to develop in a good way. Because who's gonna play it? It will be us. So we want it to be good. We want it to be like, hey, this game is great. So let's play it. That's the whole mentality of us. We're not there to shut people down because we like to. We shut them down because, like you said before, we're not gonna take your BS.
Right.
And we want to play something that we enjoy.
But see, there's a difference between like the average consumer and like us in the gaming culture. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like we don't need hype to kind of see what we want to buy and what we don't want
Yeah,
to buy.
like
We
you,
need-
I'll
we
play
need
Final Fantasy
mechanics.
whenever it comes out,
Yeah.
just because it's Final
It's
Fantasy.
Final
And I'll
Fantasy.
also
Oh, yeah.
play Killing
Oh,
Floor.
Derek.
I'll try.
If you're not playing
That's
Final
me with
Fantasy,
Rainbow
I'll be
Six
playing
and Tom
Final Fantasy.
Clancy.
That's how it's gonna go.
That's how I was DMC. And everyone else
Like,
hated that.
Yeah.
Tom Clancy,
I
everything.
like it.
So
I
I
buy
enjoy
it.
DMC very much.
So I
Marvel
mean,
Capcom.
what we can ultimately say.
Thank you, Squirtle.
Thanks, Squirtle.
Pokemon.
See, I mute my phone.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's-
Well, no, your phone stays dead, so we don't care.
I mean,
My wife
All
just
right.
texted me. It's on vibrate. Deal
Yeah.
with it.
You're welcome.
The ultimate point that we're trying to make here is
I'll make
that
it ring.
hype for the gaming culture, honestly, in some ways, doesn't even need to be there. Like we need little tidbits here and there. You know, kind of like what Omegaxis was saying. Like, you know, now that they added Predator, he has a little bit more interest, but he still had an overall interest in Mortal Kombat, and he may not have been wanting to buy it immediately, but he would have saw someone else play it and said, "Oh, Mortal Kombat, I'll play it too."
that is for established franchises, though,
Yes.
not for new IPs.
Yes.
Yeah.
New IPs, I think, do need to build hype.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
expectations will be raised and people want to
Yeah,
see the best
you're right.
product possible.
But then we
You're right
have
about that.
Kickstarter as well.
Which Xenoblade Chronicles X
Oh my god.
has built
Okay.
enough hype for
So
me.
on topic 2, AAA games versus indie.
Wow, asshole! You just want to.
Nah,
That was a
Because-
good segue. That was a
No,
perfect
no.
segue.
I mean,
That was
like,
like-
we've been on hype for a long
Yeah,
time.
That's,
And
that's new IPs. Segue.
we ended on hype is good.
Yeah, we've been trying to kill that topic for
Yeah.
some time now.
So I'm just gonna go into it. First off, AAA games versus indie games.
Like
Can an indie game ever become a AAA game?
Yes.
I
feel
could if it got the
Minecraft
publicity.
did. Minecraft is a staple of its
Journey
own.
is now being released on PS4. Like that is an amazing
Five Nights at
It
Freddy's
is?
movie. Oh,
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, no, it does get a movie.
Yep.
And so
Warner
Yeah.
Brothers.
my favorite indie game that became AAA, League.
yeah.
What's
League
League?
of Legends
League of
was an
Legends.
indie. Every MOBA
Yep.
game that starts right now, other than Blizzard's,
Other than Dota 2.
Blizzard's MOBA is an indie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I call bullshit on that moment because Blackthorn's still not in it.
Yeah, but I mean, he does have a point. He does have a
Yeah,
point.
League of Legends,
And I-
straight up.
So
That's
But you
my
know
fa-
what? You know what it is. What I honestly believe it takes a culture like ours to even make an indie game a
A
AAA,
AAA game.
Like without us in that equation, their game would never become
Yeah.
a AAA game.
yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like enthusiasts, like normal people would look at art and go like, "Hey, it's a painting," but like the art enthusiasts would actually appreciate it. That's
He's
what I feel like we
No,
are.
art appreciation is stupid. I don't want to pay $5 million for a couple blue lines. That's dumb.
Hey,
But yes,
that's fault mine.
No, that,
you
it
wanna
takes
get
an art
your
enthusiast. Hey,
Drink your coffee.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Jack, but that's an art enthusiast. He would say this is BS.
5 blue lines. $5 million.
Hey, you'd be surprised who would buy that. But like I said, it takes an actual person who appreciates that kind of stuff to sit there and think like, hey, this is a really
Damn,
good
those are some
product.
good blue
I
lines.
need a canvas and some paint now, preferably blue paint. I want to
don't-
go make $5 million.
I'm gonna go to the junkyard, put 4 things together. I bet you I can sell it as art.
Art, just hanging on the wall.
Yep.
But,
Anyway, sorry.
God, that threw off my way of thinking.
But I would personally, this is Gsquared. I personally would like to say that there are AAA titles that will never go
Ever.
above an indie title, or like, excuse me, indie titles that will never go above like AAA. Again, I'm gonna go back to like the Final Fantasy series, Square Enix, and like Kingdom Hearts, things like that. Like if someone tries to do some type of clone close to what they do. As an indie game,
Maybe
I'm
you
just
should
going
though.
to see Final Fantasy elements in their indie title. So, I mean, if you're saying it's AAA versus indie games, I think indie games are the future. I think they're the future, but on a smaller scale, not the grand scale of things. I think AAA are sincerely going
So you
to...
think AAA titles is pushing out of just?
Well, I got a question on that. Don't mean to interrupt you, but that brings back to my first question. If indie games become AAA games, how are indie games gonna win? Because as soon as they get enough hype, they're a AAA game.
No.
Like
A
League.
AAA game has a whole procedure. It is just like a major motion picture. There's tons of people working on it. There's a whole deep development staff. The budget's generally a lot bigger. Indie games are independent. That's what they are. They're independent games. It's like if we all got together and wanted to make a game, that'd be an indie
The
game.
thing is,
But
if an
that's-
indie game gets big enough,
It
can
becomes a
easily
AAA.
turn AAA.
Yeah, like League of Legends. That's why I brought up League because
Minecraft was indie.
Once you got enough XP, you hit level 36 and you evolve into Charizard. That's basically what we're saying.
Yeah, so I don't see how indie games will beat out a AAA because they evolve into AAA. So AAA will always be there.
They
The
kind
other
of do
thing-
AAA right. I think that's like the overall.
Well, there's a good it's good that we have indies, but there's one big there's one problem that I see when anything becomes AAA, it starts to rot because you want a good example of that? Look at Call of Duty. Look at Call of Duty 1 through 3.
Were they indie?
Huh?
Were they indie?
They weren't exactly indie, but look at the sea of just World War II shooters. Nothing to really stand out from the pack.
Right.
And then Call of Duty 4 came along. Then it's suddenly everybody's attention is on it. That game shot up to AAA. Then we got Modern Warfare 2. And then we got the Call of Duty situation we got now.
Even then, they were still releasing annual titles, aside from Call of Duty.
But they weren't big.
But don't they have 3 different companies that develop
Like
for
now
it?
It wasn't
Now
like that
they do.
before.
Well, no, I understand that. I'm talking about right now. Don't they have 3 different companies that the reason why they come out annually is because a different company does it every year.
Yeah, but that's now. That's
Yeah,
not.
but that's now. That was not something they had before.
Yeah, up from Call of Duty 1 up to Modern Warfare, it was just all Infinity Ward. And then
yeah.
Treyarch took over for World at War, then Modern Warfare 2 had Infinity Ward.
And
Here's my deal on it with indie games and stuff like that, and even coming back from the hype topic. Indie games, they're going to be kind of hard growing, especially when we have situations like Steam Greenlight, where it's just flooded with so many garbage games that the good ones can't shine through.
Yes.
That and the fact that they have so much criticism because the consumer won't look at indie games; they only look at AAA. So they have to fight a lot harder to get where they want to be at.
And that's when it's up to our community to bring out those good games, and to show that don't waste your money on these bad ones.
Okay, so we can honestly say indie won't be better than AAA due to the fact that indie is a word that only means something to us at a cultural level.
Yes.
Like the consumer.
Low level.
If I told someone like the consumer, hey, this indie game is coming out, they were probably associated with some type of cultural thing, like it's an Indian game coming out.
Actually, I think nowadays with how much press Minecraft has got, because Minecraft their PR was straight up, we're an indie game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think anybody that you tell a normal consumer instead of somebody in the gaming culture, when you say something is an indie game, I think they'll basically compared
Yeah,
to
and
Minecraft.
sometimes the
Look at
consumer
Fred-
that doesn't
look at
play
Five
any games
Nights.
at all
Yeah.
and heard Minecraft, they only played Minecraft.
And-
Well, sometimes Soccer Mom won't see indie. Like what Gsquared was saying, Soccer Mom don't know Minecraft.
Yeah, she's
Soccer
just
Mom
gonna be
knows
like-
games.
She's
Microsoft
gonna be like,
made it.
it's AAA. She thinks Barbie's Funhouse is AAA because it's at GameStop.
Is it not?
That's the thing. It's
Whoa!
Whoa!
Developed by Blizzard.
I'm not
Spoiler alert.
I'd play that.
I would too.
If it was made by Blizzard.
and the thing is, like this, like indie games now, it's still kind of new as far as like the way they're coming out with Steam. Like Steam's been around for a while now, but integrally, like it's still a new concept. In before you'd have to go through like major publishers to get your game out.
I'll tell you what makes the definition of indie confusing is mobile games. You know,
I was thinking about that.
Until you can actually, you can get Soccer Mom or Grass Cutter Dad or whatever convinced that hey,
Dad, I like that
yeah,
one.
That's a good one.
you can get it convinced
Soccer
that
Mom,
hey,
Grass Cutter Dad.
mobile games are indie. Like it's not going to. You guys are ruining it for me. Okay, I can't.
Listen, I got something really terrible to say.
But
Go ahead.
But
I hate mobile games because they're
no.
Okay, you got table of mobile gamers.
Bring it down. I understand where he's coming from. Like before you even get started, because I was like that. I was like,
Right.
my phone is a phone. It's not for
Yeah,
games.
right.
But the last 6 months or so,
okay.
I've changed.
No, here with
You
the
have a
teacher.
Windows phone, dog.
Okay,
A Windows phone.
Okay, maybe I need to change my tone of mobile games. I hate like how they go about their business, like microtransactions
Stamina.
and all that shit, all that stuff.
Stamina.
But you know what?
Understandable.
AAA games are now doing it too.
Yeah.
I had that conversation with Magix last night. I was just like, you know what? I don't have a problem playing for a game that I play all the time when I'm on the toilet, all the time when I'm like
It's
shopping,
no different
when
from
my
League of
wife
Legends.
is shopping and all that other stuff. I'm willing to pay to keep my sanity when my wife is shopping.
I gotta throw
It's
this.
just not $1 for a rebuy.
I gotta say this like right now, and this is actually not really good. Like, this is both good and bad. But when you think about it, you can consider Flappy Bird a AAA title.
Whoa.
Oh,
It did make 50K in a week.
It is
Okay.
more than that.
All right, no.
No.
When
How
I
do
say
we define AAA
when I
games?
say
Are we
AAA
just defining it by
games-
money they make?
Money they make and how many people are playing.
whenever
But
I say
I think you have
AAA,
to
I
count
think it's
production.
I
Like
think
a
it's
full dev studio.
Yeah, I think it's a studio. I think it's a PR team.
Yeah.
That's what I.
Yeah.
We're going back
AAA title
to his
is.
Just because it
description of a
makes money.
AAA.
Puzzle and Dragons makes money. Puzzle and Dragons is not AAA.
Oh boy.
In Japan, it is. They have a full publisher
Yep.
and everything now.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They
And
actually
remember,
have DS
Nintendo,
games,
the
they have-
DS.
Yeah, they're a AAA title now.
But you know what? I would say for me, and I'm just going to speak for myself. I don't even identify what's indie and what's AAA. I just kind of look at it as like, is
That's
the
a
game
great
good?
game?
Is the game good? Like mobile games. Let's just use mathematics for a little bit, okay? Like if I pay $60 for just 2 AAA games, that's $120. You know, if I use $40, I think $40 can take me a long way in a mobile game. That what a AAA couldn't do. You know what I mean? Like so, if I'm having fun with the little indie mobile game, you know, with my little $40 and it lasts me 6 months or like 3 months or like 1 month if you're playing Soccer Spirits or something.
Nah.
Hey,
$40
you play
was-
record keeper.
200 days, that game's still going. It ain't never gonna die.
But
Yeah.
but
I'm
when,
paying $10 for 2 months right now?
yeah, see the point
Get
that
out
I'm
of here.
making is that like it's just all about the experience what identifies what AAA is. I think we're kind of letting the title AAA like
Yeah.
the battery kind of get to our head or something cuz you know, there was one day I even asked GameStop, where the hell did AAA come from? Who the hell started calling games AAA?
Why is it called AAA?
And they don't even know. They don't even know.
What,
Like,
what does the AAA
it's-
stand for?
Yeah, it's not as good as
S rank,
Adult
but it's not as good as
activities
double
are
S rank.
us.
I'm just saying.
It's not X rank.
Now, I mean, at OTG, at Omegatech Gaming, you know what we use here? We use Primo and Poop. Those two P's.
Primo and Poop.
Yeah, it's either a Primo game or a Poop game. You know, and Primo kind of classifies whether the game is even worth to hand to somebody else. And Poop is like, we have a game.
The order.
Yeah, the order where it'll sit and collect dust, and we're just like, we'll tell you, it's Poop. That's our little rating system
You
here.
need to make a third category where I'd snap the thing in half if it was that bad.
Yeah.
No.
I think
We still paid $60 for it.
But to jump back on the definition of AAA, I think where it comes from is the actual like credit score that each of the publishers and all that the scores they get based on like their revenue and whatnot. So if like a company's AAA, that means they're making a lot of good money. That's probably
It
what
might
is.
be. I mean, but as far as what it's called, I think that's completely irrelevant to us as gamers. It's like we want more information. That AAA doesn't make it. Honestly, all it does is saying if you're AAA, you better freaking like come
That's
through.
the same.
You know what I mean? Because I think what you're saying is that we can kind of anticipate a lot of money backing that game.
I think another way of looking at AAA is probably a term that somebody came up with to pretty much like sucker in like soccer mom who's not really big into games. You'll hear, "Oh, AAA game, that sounds like something good."
Right.
But even then, whenever I talk to some of these soccer moms, they don't even know what AAA is. They've never heard it in their life. They just know video game.
And to
That's
us,
all they know.
But,
Video game.
but you never know. Suppose her kid brings it up.
bottom line, I
Most
really
kids only care about like
Game.
Call
game.
of Duty.
It's a
Anything
game
is
I wanna-
popular.
It's
Right.
a game I want to play.
Well,
Bottom line, I really believe that the AAA game thing is just a. When you have that title associated to you, you're basically expecting. We're expecting quality, and you better pay through because indie games they kind of get that like that buy. You know, they get that. Oh well, it's an indie game. It was developed by a small studio, so we can deal with these bugs and we can deal with that.
I hate that, actually.
Oh come on!
I really do. I don't think that you should put out a shit game for full price and just say, well, it's shit because I'm indie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I understand
There are
that.
so many games
I understand that, but
Yeah.
indie games
Like
don't
Jim
even
Sterling.
go to $60.
Jim Sterling is
No,
even.
Super Meat Boy. Look at it.
No,
That's a great game.
But you guys are getting good examples. I'm
But-
talking about there are some full price
Day one
indie
Gary's
games,
Incident.
$20, $30
Yeah.
games.
There are games that.
and they're bad.
Oh, yeah,
but they
Rust.
say, I'm bad because I'm indie.
Rust.
What's that game that Jim Sterling talked about where the freaking developers
Rust is a perfect
exploded
guy.
on
Was
him?
it-
Hey, was
Because
it
they're
slaughtering
indie
grounds.
game?
That was a good example.
Unity assets, Google image assets with the background, like the white background on the picture. This guy didn't even know how to use a PNG file.
And their whole thing is, we're indie, so give us a break. We're like, and I'm like, that's not really a crutch. If you wanted to put out a good game, you put out a good game.
Because so
You don't
many
put out
indie developers
shit.
do
Take
that.
some pride in your work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. But from a cultural standpoint, I would say AAA and indie doesn't even mean anything to us.
Nope.
From a cultural
Primo and
standpoint.
Poot means stuff to
Yeah.
us. That's
Yeah,
it.
if the game is good, it's good. If the game is bad, it's bad. And if you do want to call yourself AAA and you don't deliver, we have something to say about it. That's
Look at
it.
the other look at
Like
most of the Call of Duties.
Yeah, so
And Destiny.
Like
Or
Ghost.
yeah,
Hammer
that's,
of Justice.
but you know what? After all is said and done, after the dust settles, after the dust settles, we kind of just like put it behind us and just move on to the next thing.
Literally,
anyway.
we put it behind us.
Yeah, so
In the
But-
pit bin.
but
Poot bin.
I'll go ahead and I think we could talk about these topics all day. That's what we're known for. We don't want to make the podcast too long, but I think the next question
Bonus
is gonna
question.
Make, the bonus
boy.
question is going to make it even
Okay.
longer. Okay.
I'm just gonna say right now, Rock Lee the Lotus.
No,
I'm ready to collect those
You're
rings.
dead
Let's go.
from last time.
Yo,
Doing my spin
All right.
dash.
I don't think you guys anticipate this one, but we all live in reality, of course. Sometimes Jordan doesn't seem like it. He's like an alternate.
It's
All
reality.
right, and the thing is that we have such a fandom for certain games that we want these games to become a reality. So, what I'm asking,
He's
what the
gonna say
bonus
Pokemon.
question is,
gonna say
if you
Pokemon.
could make a video game, an island that you could visit in the real world,
Pokemon.
what island would you actually make it?
Pokemon.
Yeah.
I already knew that one was gonna come out. Everyone.
I'm gonna think about it a little bit longer before I say.
You
really-
really,
you
because
really-
that was cheating for me.
No. You really got to think about it because at first I thought, well, maybe I want Final Fantasy, but there's a lot of political conflict in Final Fantasies, you know, and I don't want to go to an island.
I don't want to go to an island where a fucking meteor is going to land on it.
Yes. And just look at Rusty's adventures.
You know what? I will honestly have to
The
say,
swimming Zubat.
I would personally say Gsquared. I would say Pokemon would probably nail it for me. Like, that
Damn,
would
he
be
just
awesome.
took all y'all's.
No, no.
Like, y'all can't call that.
I'm
Pokemon's
agreeing.
a really good one.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
I'm,
Pokemon.
I'm debating two. I'm debating
I
Pokemon and something
disagree.
else in my head right
No,
now.
this is
I
Insidious.
disagree.
It is
Giant
video
killer
game related.
bees,
Yes.
bugs with blades on their hands, exploding orbs, ghosts. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
but you know what? Pokemon is one of those things that's down to earth. Like you can actually see yourself building a relationship with something that you're making fight.
Like a
really.
dog.
You know what I mean?
Here's like my cats at
Wow.
home. I talk to them like they're
Michael
people.
Vick.
And it'd
Okay,
be like
here's-
having cats that could breathe fire. So
Okay.
See,
like my cats are a little gang. They beat up the dogs in the neighborhood.
Right.
They straight up just stared me down when I was pulling into your
Yeah,
driveway
they-
today, man.
They didn't recognize his car. They were like, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Give me
This
your
ain't, that,
money.
this ain't that white
No,
car that we
this-
usually see.
Yep.
No,
Get outta
this is
here, you don't
Insidious,
belong
and I
here.
agree with the Pokemon because, like, you collect a team, and basically, with people who have a deep connection with their pets, they think of it as part of the family. So that's how people would see
Okay,
it.
all right. So I take mine back then. I'm gonna say the Naruto series. Like after playing,
Fuck that.
I would like to do that type of training. And all
You're
that
gonna
other
die to
stuff.
Fire Village.
You go ahead and get shit on by Toby.
For me personally,
Madonna.
the Monster Hunter universe. Because honestly,
Madonna.
that would make me athletic. I would take the time to go train, to go fight these things, and make armor and weapons out of
And
it.
then Rathalos
So
would
it'd
make
be
you
something
his
to do.
bitch.
Yeah.
I'd take that ass beat and just get better.
But, yeah. Actually, no, that's true, because you just cart, man.
Yeah.
You're just like, you get your
You
ass
don't
beat, and
die.
you're just like, oh, I'm
You're like,
back in the
well,
village.
I passed out. The cats came and saved me, brought me back.
That's actually
I'm
good. I
to go.
like that one.
All right.
That one.
What else we got? What else we got here?
First off,
I want someone to say Madden.
Have you not read those? Have you not read those Pokedex entries? A lot of them are out there.
Some
Do
of
you
them are
wanna check-
terrifying.
Yeah.
They are. Oh, I would hate
Drifloon
to
steal
take-
children. I mean,
That's
Yep.
why
Pokemon is a dangerous universe.
Exactly. If
but-
I had a child, I would not want to take it there.
Shed Ninja, you stare into it,
steals your
It
soul.
steals your soul, straight up. Like, it's scary shit.
Dustnor's
but-
antenna tells him to send people to his stomach mouth.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta,
Stomach mouth.
y'all gotta give me a quick second. I am lost on 2 right now.
All right.
Okay.
Have
All right.
sex-
He's gonna say the Mother Universe.
No! I do not want fucking poltergeist chasing me in my goddamn
I'm
bathroom!
so glad someone didn't say Mega
All right, I got
The
one.
bathroom's big enough to run in?
If a poltergeist is there, I'll have my fucking glass door try to beat my ass!
All right, I got one. Okay, it's gonna sound really weird, but I would like to go to Katamari Damacy's island.
You want to get rolled up?
You know what?
You wanna die?
You're not the prince, man. You're just living in that
I'll,
world.
I'll watch that little guy go. We'll be bros.
No,
Yeah.
you won't.
No,
You'll
you
be on
won't.
that ball just screaming.
You'll be on the island as it turns into a sun.
You would be that sister.
You know what?
Or actually, Katamari Damacy or Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
I can go ahead.
Why would you want to owe a raccoon money? Their nature's gangsters. Like,
Why do you want to be poor for the rest of your life?
Yeah, you do kind of start the game in debt.
you're gonna wake up.
Not unless I'm the
You're
mayor.
just gonna have other wings torn off, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, "Where's my money?"
Yeah.
No, even when you're the mayor, you're in debt.
Maybe Harvest Moon, because then you actually have the opportunity to grow crops.
Yeah.
I grow radishes.
You get to marry goddesses, yeah.
Yeah.
Make your kids work for you.
Yeah.
I get to hammer cows.
So what were
Pimpin'.
what would you want? Because you said no Pokemon, so
Ah man, this would be the hard one because
I got mine.
Like,
I think I got
Mine hasn't been
I have
called.
2, but I know one. I probably wouldn't get anything out of it. The first one would be Infamous. I mean, I love that series. I love the idea of having like
Yes.
one power.
That place would be
That
so
you
torn
just-
up.
But
though.
see, yeah, you're talking about visiting an island. You're
I
not
know.
the star of the island, so you're just going to be that innocent bystander
exactly.
that gets electrocuted or something.
That's the
That's why I went
unfortunate
Monster
thing.
Hunter, because I can go there and I can train. I
yeah,
can learn from
anybody
the
can
Okay.
learn. Yeah.
Only
I
the
would-
hunters, though. You might not be a hunter. You might just be a villager.
No, he'll be a hunter.
But I can learn. I can train. I can try to get my license.
Okay.
There's room for
Yeah.
advancement. That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I got my world. Oblivion.
Train.
Oh man.
Oh
Ooh.
man.
Yeah.
Not
Exactly.
Morrowind,
I-
because you can jump
No.
and level up all day long.
Oblivion because like you play the game and just take a second to mess with the guards.
But you have Oblivion gates just showing up out of
Yeah.
nowhere. Fucking Hellspawn coming over and just
I'm
fucking
gonna go
destroying
in
you.
there and I'm
Fuck
gonna wreck shit
that.
up. I'm gonna wreck shit up in Oblivion.
He's
You just,
gonna
want,
be-
you just want to get
You're
away
in
with
Britain,
stealing.
though.
That's what it is.
I want to just go ahead and name my 2.
I'm Gray Fox.
Okay. All right. What you got?
Number 1. Okay. And since you went Naruto, I gotta go Kinekamon. I gotta
okay.
go freaking Muscle Grand Prix.
So you just watch it? Just sit in the crowd? I'd do that.
No, you can become a Joy-Gene. That is totally possible.
Fuck that. I'm not getting shattered.
No, I have no problem with slamming somebody's head into the dark hard enough to where I cause a crater to form on that part of the earth. And I don't have no problem taking that because I'm just gonna get right back up like this is Mortal Kombat. But and then the other world, and oh boy.
Mortal Kombat.
The island of Black Ops 2, where me and a bunch of people can just run around with guns and shoot each other to death and then respawn a couple seconds later and do it again!
Yeah, but who's to say that?
It's called Valhalla.
Would you protect that pool? Would you protect that pool?
Hell yeah! That pool is mine! We must protect this pool! We must protect this pool! We must protect this goddamn pool!
I only got one world. Y'all scrubs got 2. League. I'd be a summoner.
I'd be
No,
a
you'd
summoner,
be a
that'd be
minion.
No, remember they just rewrote the story.
mean-
Summoners don't exist anymore.
Yep.
Oh, they just
Still
Yeah,
me.
they actually
You'll
redid
be a
the story.
minion.
What's Lee Sin's story then?
They completely changed it. He set himself on fire to protest whatever.
And his
Set
eyes.
him in square.
No.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think he made fun of Annie, and Annie poked his eyes out and burned him out of his head. I think that's what happened.
You still at Tiananmen Square.
So
You still
it's
at
not.
No.
Yes.
We'll talk about that after the podcast. I'm really interested that they took out the Summoners in League.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But still, I would want a whole League Island.
I got you.
Even just to watch Summoners Rift.
And I hope someone turns you into a Poro and eats you.
That's fine. Well, it ain't gonna be Juju.
You know,
It'll be
Lulu would turn him
Just
into
to
a
bring
squirrel.
that back up,
and
I
he
would cut off the tongue and make a steak out of it.
No, I think you
Wow.
said that last podcast.
No, I
too.
didn't. I totally didn't.
You're
No,
pretty
we can go back
adamant
to
about
it.
eating their tongue.
No, I didn't say anything about eating their tongue. I said that I wanted to eat them because they're an Arctic creature and there was a lot of fat on them.
I hope someone ties you up and forces you to make out with a Poro. That'd be pretty freaking.
we've got one more island, don't we?
You know,
Pretty sloppy. I
everyone
one,
said
I
their
think.
island.
Yeah, who?
already said it.
You already said.
Everyone said I was the last one.
Wait, no, Anthony. Yet.
No, he already
No,
said
he
that.
said
I
this.
only got one though.
Oh, yeah. I
Everyone
mean,
else got two.
well,
I only said one because everybody said Pokemon.
all right. So
I had to
I
say
mean,
two because I was crossed. I'm sorry.
I mean, we can close it out from there because I just want another one of those thought provoking questions you never really get asked on any day. Like so, Zode.
All right, so thank you all for watching, of course, and thank you
I
guys for
didn't watch
coming.
anything.
Yeah, seriously.
Sorry.
Good listening.
I have video to this.
All with the motherfucking, I can see
Well,
Kyle.
no, we're just gonna.
Thank you for watching.
Damn, so you're just saying that everybody watching this shit is high as hell.
Thank you for
I
watching the
see this
premieres,
sounds.
and we
Why
will be
not?
back next time. This is Zodiac and Omega Tech Gaming signing off.